One of the things I wish that we had contemplated before is the length of time that's required. Some people think that it's going to be a quick process, that we're going to get through it, But one, not only is it do the logistics themselves require time, but again, if you're going to be going through this with a prayerful attitude, what the old quartet song say, you can't hurry God. You got to wait. He may not come when you want him, but he'll be right on time. And so I wish we had, really appreciated that we don't have a deadline here, folks. We're not squandering time, but also we can't hurry God. And so that's what I think would have been helpful to know going in. And then secondly, a budget. I think having a budget, because you may have a vision, but if your budget doesn't align with your guidelines you've laid out, there's no sense saying that we want to look for somebody else outside of our little small town, and you have no budget to consider someone coming from outside of your small town. And the budget could become an initial budget, and it can be modified, depending on church's ability to modify it as you go. But initially, you have to have some basic things in there. Like if you are, in fact, and it varies from person to person, but if you are going to invite somebody in from outside of town, you have to have a budget to be able to pay for their accommodations to get here, as well as their lodging. If at some point down the process, the committee wants to do some visits to go to that location where that pastor is, somebody's got to pay for that. We went as far away the first time as Texas, and so the church had to bear that expense. If you're thinking that you want to open your process up to outside of your immediate region, then you need to know there's going to be some costs associated with doing that. And not just the usual. I mean, certainly you need a budget for advertising, et cetera, that kind of thing. I didn't talk about that, but obviously that needs to be in your budget. But I was speaking more so the big B items, with the travel, and I wish we had thought about all of that as well. It's important that not only don't you hurry God, but it's important that you keep your congregation informed to the extent that you can on progress, because if there's this radio silence, people will get edgy and antsy. And so while you're waiting on God, they need to know that you're waiting on God. That's why I said we had a period of corporate prayer where people truly understand at the outset what this is. This is not you at IBM trying to hire a new CEO. So if ever I understand at the outset what this is, then we can be prayerful. We can let God do what he does, and we can keep the congregation informed, but also keep them engaged spiritually and prayerfully, so that they know. So if they think that it's taking long or whatever, well, come out and pray some more with us, and we'll get through this. But let's just stay focused and never lose sight of what this process is. This is a spiritual process. Yes, there are secular elements because of the mechanics, but it's a spiritual process. We're looking for a spiritual leader, and so don't ever lose sight of that. And we're looking for God to send who he wants here to lead our congregation. And so we can keep them reminded of that and keep them updated. That will help reduce the tension and the conflict, because congregations will get antsy if they don't hear anything. If they think nothing's happening. What are you all doing? We never hear from you. What are you all doing? How long are you going to keep meeting? When are we going to hear from somebody? When are you going to bring a candidate for us to consider? Those are the kind of questions that you get. And so you've got to try to get ahead of that as quickly as you can.